Hey guys. Okay, we are live again. I'm really excited because I have another well, not another speaker. She's speaking today, but I have another attendee from the garden party, Cortina Spann, who I knew before the garden party. We met in a different way on business, and then Cortina told me what she did: taxes, travel, and then coming into the garden party. I want to hear your experience. The recaps and reactions from this event. So let's start with introductions, okay? Before we start, y'all, make sure that when you see these lives pop up that you share it with all your friends, because this is also part of community connections and collaborations. Go ahead, Cortina, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Cortina Spann. I am the owner of 723 Tax Services as well as Spanning Out Travel. I um I am learning how to spread myself out with Allegra, and I had a wonderful time at the event. It was so wonderful. I love the game your mom presents, Allegra Senior, and it was so just intuitive. It broke the ice. It was really amazing. All
Yeah.
the ladies, it was wonderful. The people just building each other up, and everything that was there, it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, I love that. And it was your first time being in the wind, so I
It
appreciate you
was my
coming.
first time. So this was my first time being around people and actually telling them about my businesses. Even though I kid with Allegra, she gave me the mama look when I forgot to mention the tax business. But it was okay because she's still pushing me out there, helping me just find my independence and let people know I can do this. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. I love that. And y'all, please give Cortina a lot of love because I appreciate your transparency and talking about, being in the spaces for the first time. It can be a little nerve-wracking. Were you nervous? Did you feel like it was a vibe? Like what came up for you?
Um, at first I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet because I have severe allergies, so my voice goes in and out. That's probably why you hear the crackling now. Um, I was like, I'm gonna sit back and listen to the other people. Even though Allegra told me when you come there, make sure you network. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just coming there and I'm gonna sit down in my little corner. But all of the women were so uplifting. Lashana, she was the first one who didn't let me sit down in my little corner and just be okay. So that was amazing. And then what is the one with the wine, the
Nikki,
non-alcoholic wine?
Nikki Tate.
Nikki again, even though I don't play in dirt, we did plant our seed. I planted my seed, but I didn't plant it on the pink moon. But I planted my seed. Um, and it was just I just learned so much. And I love Miss, what was her name? Tanya with the quilts. I got
Okay.
her information and Janelle. It was just everybody was just so phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I am usually terrible, Allegra. You know this. I am terrible with names, but you see how I remember these people's names, girl.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, go, Tina.
But I think it's because it does take intentionality and like that intimacy that we shared that day. I personally enjoyed it more than any other meetup that we've had in Atlanta because I felt like it was so like close knit, like like we're hanging
Yes.
out, girlfriends at the house, and having some time together to learn, to connect. You said that you liked the game my mom brought. What was another highlight for you? Like what really stood out for you?
Um, it was everything. I love how what was it, the little bowl thing what Lashana had?
Sound bowl.
The sound bowl, yeah, I felt so relieved. That really helped. It did help my throat shock. I probably need to do that every week because this post nasal drip been killing me. But it made me feel so good. It was just everything. The vibe, your little purple wall, that was so cute. It was just everything. The whole atmosphere. It was just wonderful. I
Yeah.
had a good time. And every just meeting everybody. I even learned about the non-dairy treats from, was that your sister-in-law?
Yes.
Yes. I was scared to eat anything because I didn't want my throat to close up.
Yeah.
Because these throat don't be acting right with me. But I could have played the little sound bowl and opened it back up, girl. Yes. But it was nice. It was so wonderful. It felt you can feel all the empowered women. And that was like, if you need help, just call me. It just felt like everyone was there for each other. And
Yeah.
that is something that I really don't really get a lot of because I don't deal with a whole bunch of female stuff. Mm-mm.
That is not, you're not the only one, because I've heard it so many times. They're like, I just don't deal with females. And
Yeah.
it's a stigma, I think, from, for me, I was taught from my own mom, you're a part of the women's club, support other women, period, right? But that was an intentional teaching. Like, if I didn't grow up that way, whatever I went through in my life, like being like
Mm-hmm.
burnt by another woman, because a lot of times we are very emotional about things and we kind of
Yeah.
attack each other. So when you get those situations and you don't really know how to deal with it, you start to shy away from being in those
Yes.
situations, right? Like, I don't
Yes.
want to deal with women because they're catty and emotional. And
Mm-hmm.
but this dynamic, I feel, for me, y'all, and I'm just speaking on my behalf too, Cortina, because when I'm in those spaces, I want to feel good too.
Mm-hmm.
So it changed the dynamic of what people say about women coming together. Like, it's
Yeah,
none of
I
that
think
stuff.
it was intentional because all of the women who came together, we were all business minded. So when you come together with a purpose, because my mom tried to teach me that as well. She was the sorority girl and all that. And I was like, I'm not doing none of that.
I don't do sororities either. I'm like, going.
No, I just wasn't doing none of that. All that no, couldn't wait I was more like a tomboyish,
Mhm.
and I didn't like all that. But I love how it made me look at women differently because I don't deal with the caddy. I am the person who will always drive myself to events so I can leave when I'm ready.
Yeah,
They be like, "You gonna ride with us?" No. Mm-mm.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got gas and I'm okay. I, wherever Lexina take me, I'm gonna lead. No, I'm not doing that. But this, I would come to any event that you have because it made me feel all like, okay, I was wrong. I even got in the car and told my best friend that I was so
Really?
wrong. Even she was like, "You gonna bring me next time?" I was like, "I don't know about that."
Oh no, we gotta
But
bring her.
no, I still don't know. I love her though, but no, probably not. No, no, probably not.
And
Mm-mm.
that's okay. That's okay. I,
Yeah.
I think we have to curate spaces that are safe, and that's what Win does. Like, I love
Yes.
hearing you say that, because if it's not like, we don't enable, like, we don't
Mhm.
enable each other, because a lot of times we can do that, but we actually hold each other accountable. And
Yeah.
because we're like minded, like you said it, we do all either have businesses or looking to, because everyone there
Yes.
did not have a business, but they were inspired.
Really? I would
Yes,
have
I,
never
I want to
thought
say
that.
I can count at least 5 people there that did not have a business. And
Really?
very, very inspired by listening to the stories
Yes.
of, the other women that did have businesses and what they, accomplished over time. And I think that's what we need. And so I want to hear, can we just like dip into the challenge of changing that mindset? Because I think you made a good point that if you've never been in an environment where you feel like it's safe for you to, be a woman, grow the business,
Mhm.
be supported when you're making mistakes and failing along the way, because you're not a failure, but you do have to fail.
Sometimes in business, you do fail and you tend to blame yourself.
Hmm.
Business is not always pretty. It's not always good. It's not an easy avenue to navigate through.
Hmm.
I think sometimes we as women, especially Black women, tend to make the business look like we're just smooth sailing. Everything is just peachy and cream, all going forward. When that is such a facade.
Yeah.
Sometimes we as the business owner, and I've been in business many years. However, I never let the people who were around me know what I did,
Yeah.
because I don't need the judgment from the world and in my safe space. So I kind of kept the two separate.
Hmm.
But I mean, I don't feel I had to do that in the space that you provide, which is, I think, is necessary for people in business. Sometimes we need to know that it's okay,
Yeah.
because you don't always know that. And when you're having life is lifing and your business is not winning, then you tend to be like, what am I supposed to do? You be in a lost place. And that's why I think that what you were providing for us women, it was so necessary. Even when you said, bring your husband. Now, I probably ain't gonna never bring
We
mine.
got lots of men that support us.
No. But it's good. I will say that my husband does support me, but no, I like that, leave your husband and children at home and
Okay.
go and go be in your good space, because it's certain faces. We all have different faces of
Yeah.
ourselves. And we don't you I can't be the way that I was, like, able to listen without being on guard. Someone like, baby, do you need this, or baby, do you need that? Or mama, oh Lord, the mama thing. And that don't stop when they get grown, because my pre-adults call me more than the youngest one. So
Yeah.
it's like, no, I don't need all that constricted space. I need for you to just help me. Help
Hmm.
me. Because
Hmm.
sometimes we're unable to say, I need help.
Yep. And I think that you made such a great point because I myself went through a lot of the, well, where's my family? Why aren't they supporting me? And it, if anything, it stress you more because they don't understand what is actually happening when you go through the journey of entrepreneurship. And my sister even mentioned it in her live stream. She was like, "Yeah, I see you at home, sis. Like I grew up with you." But I
Mhm.
was able to come to the event, which showed me what the real work looked like. And I was like, oh, that makes sense because y'all didn't believe until I did. Like,
Yes. And a lot of people, I even dealt with that. My best friend, she is on a journey of entrepreneurship. And I can't even count the times that she has called me and was like, you made it look effortless.
yep,
So now I'm going through this trial. And I was like, oh, I've been through that a million times. Let me tell you what to do. And she was like, I never saw that side, because you would just see me get money, but it had to be stages to get there.
yeah,
Even now, as because she's seeing me build, and I'm building these business from the ground up. I'm starting over. And she's watching the hurdles, and she was like, but I know that this is going to be successful, because
yeah,
everything that you do, you make it something. I was like, but
yeah.
it ain't always easy getting to the other side. It's like, oh Lord.
Yeah. Well, I heard one of the coaches that speaks on the motivational motiversity, and I think his name is Marcus Taylor, and he was saying, choose your heart. Like, it's either going to be hard when you do it or hard when you don't, because you will regret not doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to be the encouragement for our family members, our friends, because the truth is, and this is what I discovered, and you could tell me a little bit before we wrap this up, because we're really just kind of giving you guys a recap to Cortina's experience. She came as an attendee, and then she connected with so many amazing people there at the garden party. And I know that we had one thing come up with one of our WIN members, Karan Fairweather, which you guys know very well. And I want to bring that up before we get off of this live and before we talk about what Cortina does. But I think it's very interesting. We're having this conversation about, family support versus, having safe
Mhm.
spaces in community. Because the truth is that family don't know how to support you when you're going through the struggle, but community
Yes.
can.
Yes.
And that's what I think we're seeing when we're intentional, like you said, about where we show up. So so pat ourselves on the back for finding, the right spaces. Now let's talk a little bit about the experience when one of our WIN members you met there, Karan. Y'all had a conversation and it wowed me. What happened?
Well, when she presented her books, I recognized the book because I have been in therapy for a couple of years now, working on healing all my little inner childhood trauma. And her book popped up, and I was like, hold on, that looked like my book that my therapist sent to me. And it was so funny because she saw the expression on my face, but I was trying to be in my little corner. And I was like, I have your book. And she was like, nuh-uh. I was like, I do. I was like, my therapist sent this book to me. And she was asking me about the some of the exercises in it, and I told her the truth. I said, well, because I was raised by a teacher, I knew how to do the homework but not do the work. And she was like, really? I said, so I am going through it now, which is so funny because I had just started like on the first chapter or whatever. And I was like, I'm actually trying to get through doing the work now. And I was like, I need to tell him. So, but he was out of town with his family. So he and I fussed about that. And I was like, listen to your message. So he said he's gonna listen now, and I told him he could reach out to her because I'm gonna actually get with her. I've just been so busy because I do taxes, and everyone, guys, Georgia has 2 extra weeks. Please be attentive to the 2 extra weeks. And your tax preparer is not the IRS. So I've been trying to, wrap up tax season as well as finish with that and plan trips for people. All of that in the process of trying to, but I am going to reach out to her so I can get a signed copy.
Yes, get your signed copy. I have mine. And I just want to, I love the connection that you made there because Karan is such an amazing person. I told you she grew up with the community as well. And she was able to just kind of, make herself, she presented her book there, which is important, right? So always have your product with you, always be ready to talk about what you do. If she wasn't ready to talk about it, then you would have never been able to have that experience. And so I just love the connections that you guys made. Now, you did say that you do some taxes and you gave us some tips on that extra 2 weeks. So let us know, let us know, what you do because you came to talk about what you did at the event as well. And I think you actually connected with someone who used your services as well.
Yes, that's my daughter in the back.
Hey, daughter.
um, yes, I do taxes, and I am a tax preparer. I do business taxes as well as personal. I also do tax advisement. If you have questions about what is a write-off or what you can claim, I am that girl to contact. I also teach people how to set their business up and structure it properly so that you can be able to operate within the realm of what you do legally. Legal is the key. Nobody wants to go to big people jail, as I call it.
Yeah, there's big people jail, and we don't want to go there.
No, we don't want to go there. They don't have, it's not good. And I have just got in this phenomenal business that I am enjoying for myself. I am a big kid at heart. I don't know if you can kind of pick up my energy. I love going to Disney World. I can actually leave my kids, but since they're here, I kind of take them with me. So I love to travel. I love to see the world. So now I am a travel agent. I believe you can do anything you put your mind to. I am putting all my gears to this traveling business so I can teach people who are burnt out like me. I used to be a nurse. I don't want to go back. So I am taking off with the running with this business thing and not looking back. So I'm teaching people how they can travel. If they want to travel on their own and make money off of their own trips, I teach them how to go that route. Or if you just want somebody to plan trips for you, I teach you both of them.
That's amazing. So you definitely help a lot of people, and I know you're going to be doing more. This is your first introduction to Win, so make sure you guys follow Cortina. Make sure you get with her services. People are already hiring her from the event, so you just showed up one day. Everybody was like, you do taxes and you do travel. I mean, it's such a vibe. But make sure you guys connect to win, and we will have more events coming up where hopefully Cortina will be able to share her experiences again. And also, Cortina, since you do travel, we were actually discussing that. So if you guys are looking to like get your vacations out of the way, start relaxing and preparing for
Yes.
the end of the year holidays, right? Where you're like running around trying to buy gifts for your kids and everything.
Yes.
That is stressful. So get your vacations in. And you actually came to me and you was like, listen, whatever you need to support in, I'm here for that. And you immediately responded when I asked you for, a quote. And so I know that you're effective and responsive. So you guys make sure you reach out to Cortina for that support. Any final words, Cortina, that you want to leave us with?
No, just know that you can win. Everything that Allegro touches gold to me. So y'all need to just follow, follow, follow. Let's spread this support so we can get more women to fall back on. So we can always have that community to lean on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cortina. I appreciate you, love.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right, guys, have an amazing night, and we'll see you in the next live. Bye.
Bye bye.